conducive would you say the two generations are working together?
I would say that it's difficult.
Gen Zs are not as bad when it comes to work ethics. It just depends on people, your circle.
Working with Gen Zs, I've had small children that recall. I'm sorry to use the word small children. You have them come to the office and then you give someone a task and the person tells you that she's not mentally okay to, and I'm like, I don't understand. Why are you collecting salary?
Hello and welcome to HR TV, your number one channel for everything business and HR related. My name is Adenike and I'll be your host for today. On this episode, I have two wonderful personalities with me, and I'm sure you would agree with me as we proceed. Number one, by my side here, I have Tamilore, who is an on-air personality at TV360, and sitting right beside her is Olamide, who is a senior media marketing executive at Brandsyard Limited. Before we proceed, please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe to our channel so you can get updates as soon as we post them. Thank you very much. Considering two things, which is basically on what we're talking about here, the traditional and the non-traditional work model, so to say. With the traditional being the 9 to 5 and the non-traditional being the freelance, the personal gigs, the entrepreneurs and co. Olamide, I'd like to ask you this. You're somebody who has been in the traditional work mode or who has been doing that for years. You have the expertise, you have what it takes to, excel in your career. And yet, you're not moving with the waves, if I can say that. You're still doing the 9 to 5 as against doing the traditional. Sorry, you're still doing the traditional as against doing the what obtains now, which is personal gigs. Why are you still there?
Okay, well, I would say that for me, it's not about moving with the trend. It's more of what I can gain. And right now, I believe that I'm in the right place. Right. Yes, because I believe that in order for me to be able to get to the point where I can move or say I'm ready to set up something for myself in line with my vision and the things that I want to achieve for myself, I would say that I'm in the right place to learn. Right. Because my organization is, I'm in an organization whereby lots of things are allowed. Right. They're not rigid. I work with people that are always willing to teach, right? Because they also understand that at some point in life you would want to set up something for yourself. So I feel like I'm in the right place, or it's not about the trend, it's more of what is good for me.
Okay, so can I just ask an additional question to that?
Okay.
You said you work in an organization where lots of things are allowed.
Yes.
Could you please, explain that for our listeners, please?
Okay, so I always say this proudly. I have the most wonderful bosses in this life. Yes. So one of the things that actually made me join the company Brandsyard is because when they told me about what their vision was, it was easy for me to buy into it because I saw that they were starting from somewhere and they were willing to carry their employees along, that we as they grow, which is very important because if an organization is growing and there is inclusivity, it's very important for me as a person, right, who is also on a journey, and someone saying, oh, I'm not going to leave you behind, I'm going to take you along with me. So as the organization grows, you also grow personally. So I won't trade that for anything. I'm sorry.
I think that's a good one. And I think the takeaway for me from everything you said now is, the being able to carry employees along.
Yeah.
I'm not sure many employers of labor do that these days.
No,
And I want to believe me, or maybe one could say that's one of the reasons they don't usually get the buy-in of the employees, because personally I believe if you get the buy-in of your employees, then the business should be able to survive. Not just that, should people will be more happier to work, and then it will be easy to get things done. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Very true.
And then you said place to learn. I think I'll also take that as a takeaway.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Olamide.
Welcome.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi. Yeah.
So, coming to you, you're a Gen Z
Yes, obviously.
and you're doing a 9 to 5. A Gen Z in a traditional work mode.
Don't judge. You don't judge a book by
I'm
its
not
cover.
judging.
You are. You are.
Okay, apologies. But really, I think you should just tell us what's the lure, because for me, I would say I don't expect you to be doing something like that. Sorry, because your generation is that generation that I like to call the trendsetters, and then you're still doing a 9 to 5. How? Why?
Okay, so for me personally, I think it's more about the passion. If you don't have a passion for something, then no matter the situation, you wouldn't be able to, no matter the storm, you won't be able to survive. So, for example, if every Gen Z out there is just like, nah, I don't want to stress, I just want to be at my own comfort zone and making my money. The media industry is broad, is wide, is big, and the people there are going to leave at the end of the day. Then we'll get to, you can't tell me you're going to be in your house and you're going to sit at back of a green screen and you'll be giving people the news. It doesn't work that way. So it's just the passion. I'm not going to lie, it's very, very difficult based on the fact that you're Gen Zs. This time you want to be at the club, you want to be dancing to go, The next thing you get to wake up and be like, oh my God, I have a meeting. So it's not, honestly not easy, but that's why I said the major thing is the drive. If you have the drive and passion, nothing like, no matter, you're just going to think that, well, I'm just here for the money. Anything. I just want to make a name for myself. So basically, it's not easy. You don't get to have your life. So, okay, for my kind of job, it's not even 9 to 5 most times. I get to work, let's say 9, and you get to leave like, let's say 8, sometimes 9. Aside the fact that Lagos is stressful and the traffic, you get to be like, okay, I have to make up a story idea. I have to close up some things for the job. Like, for example, media houses read their news by 10. So it's just the drive, basically. Just drive. Once you have the passion, you forget about the 9 to 5 and just be like, I need money and the fame. That's just it.
Okay, so thank you very much, Tammy. My takeaway from everything you've said now is number 1, continuity. Number 2 is passion. Now, passion. I wouldn't want to talk too much about passion because I know that for you to even be an entrepreneur, you definitely have to have passion. But in terms of continuity now, okay, so there are so many things you were not really sharing, well, to my own satisfaction. But I believe for me, for you to be looking at continuity, especially for your industry, you have to be able to face some level of discomfort. And from what we all know about your Gen Z friends, colleagues, and mates, at the slightest discomfort, they disconnect. They want to leave, they want to start their own thing and all. What's that thing that's still keeping you in it?
Well, aside the passion, I feel like no matter life is okay. There's this adage that says if you want to eat or honey or something, you have to sharpen your axe. Or so I can't remember. Part of the Gen Z, part of the Gen Z, whatever. But I know that life is not meant to be easy. So it just depends on how tough you want to be and how much you want to be made. Good things don't come easily. So it depends on how tough you are, how your skin is very, very tough. So
Interesting.
yeah, that's just it.
Interesting. Are you still with us? Please don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. So, Olamide, coming to you. Let's discuss about this. Let's talk about this traditional way of work and remote work, not hybrid. Remote work, okay? Because personally, for me as an HR, I believe a lot of times when we say, "Oh, we are doing remote work," a lot of times it's really just not so work, but remote. You know,
This one, no. Hey,
You're
God.
sounding like the wicked HR that wants everybody in the office, even on the raining day.
okay, no, I am not.
If you say so.
I'd like to share something with you because I've worked in a place where we do, even then it wasn't remote, it was hybrid. But on Mondays, because of the commute time you spend in traffic in Lagos and all that, it made every sense to have people work from home on Mondays, you know, so that you don't have to go through this rest and this stress and hustle and bustle of Lagos. And every time we have performance meetings, you have people who are coming into the meeting and giving the same reports they gave 2 weeks ago. There's no change. Does this mean what they did on Monday 2 weeks ago was the same thing they did? There are no changes, you know. And then it was evidence because by the time we do the final review at the end of the month, it's obvious that nothing is really happening in this department. It's obvious that there are no tangible changes to the business. And the reason behind the work from home is to make it easier on the staff, you know, and to also make it easier because by the time you do work from home, if you ask me, you talk about the merits. There are so much more merits to this than it is to the business itself than it is to the staff. Because if you look at it, you're doing remote work, you're saving a lot of money in terms of electricity, you're saving a lot of money in terms of fueling. These things are serious things that takes money.
Yeah.
So you have people work from home. Of course, you're going to give them support, but by the time you weigh the two against each other, you see that the company is still able to save money.
Okay, sorry to cut you short, Nikia, but I want to ask you a question. So, which way would you prefer? Which way would you think you'll be more productive? When you're more comfortable, or when you're in a rigid setting, or when you're in a toxic setting? Just your personality. So then we'll get into my opinion on remote jobs.
Okay. So personally, if you're working in a place and it's toxic, why are you still there?
No, it depends. If you're getting, when you work in a toxic environment, it makes you on your toes.
Really?
Yeah. Just the same way Nigerian girls like toxic men. Are you clowning?
I'm sorry, but I don't support. I actually don't support that notion.
No, yes, I do not.
I actually don't support
the
the notion.
that still work there. The people that are still there.
Yeah, but okay. So for me, right? Okay, so for me, I believe that yes, I support your view in a way, but not totally, right? Yeah, because I believe that there should actually be a middle ground. Okay, so I'll give you an example now. Most of last year we were doing more of hybrid work, right? Okay, so we did more of hybrid work, and my bosses were very considerate because of the cost of living and everything. It was like, okay, you guys, I think we'll come to work twice a week, right? We come to work on Tuesdays and then we come to work on Thursdays, right? Or sometimes on Fridays, depends. So we had the agreement, but one of the reasons why we had to come back to the office was because yes, we did have new staff, right? But also the fact that people became very complacent with their work. So I feel like there has to be a balance, right? And I see, for me, it was convenient for me because I got to sleep more. I didn't have to wake up very early in the morning, right? And that way I'm able to function because I can move about. I can be cooking and doing things, right? But at the same time, sometimes when it happens for too long, the lines can be blurred. So there has to be a balance, and I understand that human beings don't know when to draw the line.
Comfort zone.
Telling you, sometimes we know that okay, this is what you are supposed to do, but that thing that will be biting you under, you're not gonna say
no,
maybe they will not see me now. They will not see me after all. I'm behind the camera.
There are ways you can check that out.
Do you have to put CCTV camera in the person's house?
No. So, for example, if you have a team lead, you can have a situation where your team lead be like, at the end of the day, probably like 9 p.m. I want everybody to just drop a note of what you've done at the end of the day. That's just a part of
wait. I work with Jay-Z.
Yeah,
work with
I don't like that. You're making it look like we're difficult people to work
you
with.
people are difficult.
No. No.
You know, sometimes me, I'm not an HR person, but my approach sometimes.
No.
See, you
people
know what?
just-
When you say,
you people just stop.
wọ́n ní láti kápá yín.
No, yes.
You need to kápá yín sometimes.
No, it's not every time. No.
See, so here's okay. So say for instance, I work with Gen Zs, right?
I don't like that, Jen.
But it's the truth. People are Gen Zs. I identify as a millennial.
Yeah, but you enjoy us. We're the trendsetters.
Abeg, leave your choice alone.
No,
It's not helping me in any way.
No, it is.
That's my business. But here's the thing.
Okay.
When you have people that are working with you, I believe in one thing, right? First of all, at least before you encourage that approach, you must be able to see that they can function in that space, right? And I'm in total support of companies that say, okay, you know what, after a while everyone come back to the office. Do you understand? And then do a proper what they call it, a proper appraisal of people's performances. And the people that, for me, that's my solution, right? People that are not ready, you come to work every day. When your head is straight ahead, we can go back to the normal thing.
Necessarily have to make it like you come to work every day. The appraiser is like a very good thing, but I feel like workers are motivated when there's an end profit aside to salaries. Do you understand? Like, okay, the best team for this month is getting extra these, or you get a
Like a
taken
sort of incentive.
yeah.
aside from
So when
salary.
you get to see that this team has
and the
been
bonus of airtime.
exactly, or
for
you get
data.
or you get one more day to stay off work.
Yeah, but you know that at the same time, I feel like if you're in an organization that is also very considerate, if you probably have personal stuff to do, you can as well inform them in time. I don't think that, okay, well, there are some people that are mean, but it's not in all cases, right? And that's the reason why I will mention again, I work in the best organization. I just have to say that. I'm sorry. I just have to say that.
Gen Z.
But yeah, you should actually. It's actually a very nice setting, because there are days whereby we understand that everyone is worked up, right? And so my bosses are like, okay, you know what? Let's do something to just relax.
Team
you know,
bonding.
we don't even need to do. We put on the TV in the office, and we probably just do like one Netflix movie, right? It's to unwind. Right, and then we know that the moment, okay, so we have something to do, okay, it's time to get on back to work, guys, and then we focus back. Everyone is energized, everyone is, you know, there's this zeal to want to do more for
After
the
you've
company.
relaxed.
So and sometimes it's not always okay to, you know, to say, oh, rewarding the person that does well with airtime. And some people will now focus on that and expect a reward at every point in time that they actually
might not
do their
exactly.
job.
I think that was what we got wrong, because what we did then was before we even
You know, it's like, okay, pay me, I've done this thing.
exactly.
This is sense of entitlement.
Exactly.
Okay, that's fair.
What I was going to add before was, what we did the communication on the reason we were allowing staff to do work from home on this, and there was a bit of, you know, bonuses and all, just to help them get into that zone, especially for people who don't have inverters at home, people who don't have UPS to use. And you find out that some of them, I don't even mind if you're not in Lagos or anything, but whatever it is, do that work that you've been contracted to do. And then you now find out that some of them were using that time to go for interviews. So you collect the money and then you go for interview with the time you're supposed to use to work, and then you come and give the same reports 3 weeks in a row, you know. And then by the time we did appraisal, it was obvious that you were not doing well, you were not meeting your targets, you were not hitting these numbers. And instead of you to actually, because for me, I will take an employee that you've spoken with, you've shown their errors and you've corrected, to understand it from your point of view and be sober and apologize and strive to change, than, you know, switching into this whole other person, which is what I get from this my wonderful Gen Zs. And then it feels like, you know, there's just that thing called sense of entitlement. And I don't and I don't think you're asking for too much. I don't think you're asking for too much when you demand, for service.
Like in situations like that, it's just a personality. You can't. People have shitty attitudes and behaviors. I can't get to say I'm wrong and you try to correct me and then I become manipulative.
Okay, so can I just give you this certificate? Because right now you're not talking like it's Gen Z.
Yeah,
she's
been around millennials.
Yes, I agree. Basically, half of my friends
we're adopting her. Don't worry.
They're not adopted.
You're welcome to come.
No, I disagree.
Stick with me and you would never.
Exactly. How conducive would you say the two generations are working together in your own view, having worked with them, the wonderful Gen Zs?
Okay, so wait for it. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. All right, so I would say that it's difficult, but I'm the kind of person okay, so I identify as a millennial. That's one. Right. Working with Gen Zs, I've had small children. I recall. I'm sorry to use the word small children, but you have them come to the office and then you give someone a task and the person tells you that she's not mentally okay to and I'm like, I don't understand. Why are you collecting salary? Or is it this thing? Wait though. Okay. So there was one like that came for IT, right? And then she came. I took my time to put her through, teach, because I know that you don't have this background. And this is one thing I tell anyone who comes and I have to teach or mentor, right? I tell them one thing: whatever it is that you learned outside, know that it is for school. You are in the real world, right? So you cannot start applying your baby mentality from your school days. I come and be telling me that you are doing. I gave you work to do. You are pressing phone, doing Snapchat. You are who?
No, we have to keep people updated.
I don't care. Because the thing there is what they fail to understand is that whatever you do actually reflects on every other person. So if you don't deliver when you're supposed to deliver, it affects my own work, right? And you expect me to just be happy and do your work?
You're mentally stronger than
what do you mean I'm mentally strong? Is it me that say she not enter street? Enter the street. No. Let me tell you something. Your generation, I love you guys, but you guys are lazy.
No.
I
disagree.
I support Buhari that said that, although I feel like he was actually talking to the Gen Z. But when he said that you are lazy, he wasn't even referring to the fact that you guys are lazy to work. You guys are more like mentally lazy. Well, the moment you face a hurdle like this, forget it. No, you people,
you're just being dramatic.
I just cannot cope.
No, you're being dramatic. Honestly.
You see, they are good with words.
Yes, you're being dramatic.
You know what?
It's not paying. It's not giving.
Let's just take it easy.
Okay. So personally,
all right.
So personally, I feel like Gen Zs we are just fragile. Yes, just we are very fragile.
You're fragile. I think it's safe to say more than 50% of your generation, they are into having their own businesses.
Yes,
and it takes someone that's mentally strong to want to do things like that.
We want the comfort and we want the money, obviously. But at the same time, we're more of like, let me do this at my own convenience, which doesn't work well with you guys.
Yes, it doesn't.
I feel like it is. Because it should.
I'm not saying don't be comfortable, but the fact there is you came out here to get a job, right?
Yeah.
To work, to earn a living.
Exactly.
So let me tell you something. The thing there is the mentality that you guys come with is everyone needs to bow down to your needs and your wants and your ways. But you forget that there is already a system in place.
No.
It's the truth.
No.
Okay, so so how are all these things Could you please just help us understand it?
Okay. Personally, I feel like Gen Zs are more of like, we want to work at our comfort zone, and when we are not mentally stable, we are not productive.
Oh God, that one did not concern me. The work needs to be done.
The work needs to be done, but
okay. So if you're not mentally stable, who's supposed to actually
going to do
who's
it?
gonna do it?
Who's
Who's the another person?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's
Millennium.
okay.
The stronger one.
Really?
The superhero.
Okay, so let's
Exactly.
okay, so let's see. Let's do it this way. Imagine you're not mentally stable, and the time that you're not mentally stable, you don't get paid for that.
I get paid now.
Why do you still want to collect? Oh, no, we will pay you for the
Okay,
days that
so-
you work.
So you want to pay me for the days that I've been working, but is it more of the days I've been working or the value I've been given?
Oh God, forget about
Oh,
it
you
that
thought
you're
you
saying,
want to
Jared.
cheat. No, that's cheating.
Okay, you know what?
Okay.
What are these values? My question is,
For example,
Please
For
let me
you.
ask them.
for Gen Zs, we're the trendsetters.
Oh
Yeah.
Jesus,
Yes.
that word is.
Oh, are you class?
Oh,
Are you not
God.
going online and see the book
Oh,
and say,
Lord.
my boss once said,
Who said you message?
oh, but it's bringing brand visibility. Look at Zikoko. Zikoko is one of, okay, recently, I think one of their members, a Gen Z lady, dressed as an indie lady to work. And she dressed, and if you see the way people were dancing, people were like, oh, you people are like, so it's more of the carrying people along, like, no work and no play makes people dull. Like,
but you see, you have to
it
actually
is.
do the work before you
You're going
create
to
time
do
to
it.
play.
No, sometimes you have to play. For example, if I don't sleep, I'm not productive.
But then you're supposed to sleep, wake up, and then go to work.
See, okay, so when I get to work, once I'm working and I feel like I really need to sleep.
Okay, so you don't use your night time to sleep.
Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. The
What
sleep
are
is
you
not-
doing?
It does
But
not
can
concern
you
I'm
just-
sleeping?
Okay,
my
so can you just
God.
help me understand this? I think I need to understand this. You know, you've come to apply for a job, you were successful, you were employed, and then you have contract of employment that shows all the things that you're supposed to do.
And you signed it, oh.
Yes, and then you sign the.
You said accepted by me,
At
oh.
the end of the day,
Eh-heh.
am I doing my work? Are you getting it?
No, you're not. You're
Okay.
not doing it.
Okay,
You're
so-
not doing it, and
At
you're
the
not.
right time. Is
You're
it
not
right
meeting-
time?
you're-
Okay, wait.
even
I'm
for
not
the
doing it
ones
at
you
the right
do-
time.
You're not.
Okay,
Exactly.
but at the end of the day, I do it.
But you
No,
say
you don't miss the deadline.
exactly.
You say yes or no. Do I do it at the end of the day?
You
You do it.
You do
You
it.
do it, but it's
Oh,
not.
no, you people are contradicting.
Oh my
do
God!
it,
You see,
don't
this
do
is
it.
Okay,
the
fine.
problem I have
Okay.
with this generation.
They do it,
See,
but then they pass the
manipulating
deadline,
you, yes.
and then there
Okay.
are so many errors, and then you're forced to do it all over
Exactly.
again.
Okay, so
Nobody is
let me
perfect.
give
Nobody
you.
is
Oh, let me give you an
perfect.
example. Let me give you an example, right? And this is not to throw shades at anyone, right, or any Gen Z.
Okay.
But here's the thing. I work with currently I have a Gen Z working with me, right beside me and everything. And there was a time I gave her a task to do, and I was considerate enough to understand that she wasn't feeling too well, right? So I had made her work easier. I said, okay, get this and this done, right? I will finish up the rest for you.
Oh.
So that you can go home on time and, get yourself treated. And then the space of time that she was given, the time frame she was given to do what she needed to do so that she could give it to me, right? She didn't do the needful. And when it was time for her to go and for me to, because I'd planned that, okay, I was going to leave the office by latest by 5:30, right? So that, I could get enough rest because I had not slept well in days. Okay, so you didn't do what you were supposed to do. When it was time for you to give me what you were supposed to
The
give me,
report.
you didn't give me. You told me you had not done it. So what have you been doing for the past how many hours? And you expect me to be happy about it.
Okay.
Right? I already compromised. I said I was going to do your job, right?
Okay.
But you're supposed to still make the task easy for me, right? I already said I was going to finish up for you, but you see, the thing there is this: you guys don't have work ethics. That's
Yes,
just the truth.
I agree.
That's the thing,
We don't.
right? And even for your generation, those of you that work, right, or let me say own your own business, you guys don't have ethics in place.
Yeah.
Right? There is
Service.
no. See, I
Customer
deal with. I
service.
buy things from. I buy things from young people because I'm someone who believes in supporting people's businesses, and I always give feedback when I see that your service. I tell you, see, the way you get loyal customers is the kind of experience you give them from the starting point to the end point.
But to me, I think at the end
You
of
will
the
tell
day-
me that you cannot collect this. You knew what you
No,
sent
at the
to
end
me.
of the day, I feel like like it all boils all down to your personality.
It's well, but okay. So if you say it
Yeah,
all,
but
it all
yes.
boils down to the
Yes.
personality. But at the end of the day, you see like almost 80 to 90, because it's all over the world, right? You have like 80 to 90% of your generation doing the same thing. It's like all of you, they just pack all of you together. And you saw someone will tell you, my zodiac sign says I should not come out today. What's my business with your zodiac sign?
God.
Did you write your zodiac sign when you were writing it? When you were doing it? Oh my, oh Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys
know
are
what?
useful. I will
know
give-
what?
That's just it.
I will give you credit for the fact that you
Anytime.
guys are useful when it comes to the vibes in the office and things like that, right? Yes, you guys know how to do that part
Anytime.
well.
Something needs
I
to
don't
be
like
done
this setting.
to
I don't like it. People are just,
You feel ganged up,
Yes.
Abby.
This is
That's how it's supposed to
bullying.
be.
all right.
That's how it's
You're
supposed to
bullying
be.
our generation.
No, we're
Ah.
not. But I'm sure to a great extent you would agree with a lot of the things that we've
Yes,
said.
I do.
That a lot of things needs to be done.
Yes.
Yes, and it
Because
needs
you
to
can't. I
change.
don't think there can be any tangible development
Exactly.
No.
if
Okay.
everybody chickens out of doing things that
yeah.
they're
There's
supposed
a
to do.
Yoruba adage that says, "Enutata fin bomo ishore man."
Oh my God.
So
Oh,
the
wow.
same way, yes.
Oh
Do you know
my
what it
God.
means?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell us what it means?
What I'm trying to say is that the same way you people are very lenient to Gen Zs, at the same time you have to be strict to them. For example, she said that someone that she was working with, that she told, okay, I've made this easier for you. In situations like that, you can always say, okay, I feel like you need a query. I can't just tell you to do something and you don't do it. When you allow things like that to go on too much.
Oh, trust me,
Yes.
she didn't go unscathed.
Exactly.
Trust
So
me.
situations like
Unscathed?
that.
You
So
go
next
unscathed.
time she knows that, oh, I have to do this for Miss Olamide.
Should I tell you that she still makes the same? We're always
That's when
well
they say
this
it
matter.
all bottles down.
But
to
she
the
does this. I mean,
personality.
after all, I'm a growing child. But I get that you're a growing
She's
child.
not going to grow at the end
No,
of the day.
but the truth there is this. She's one exception. She at least she knows when to draw the line, right? When she makes a mistake,
Meaning she's
she
learning.
comes back. Yes, she learns. But we've also had people, other Gen Zs that come, and most of the time we always have to let them go because
Personality,
you see it's
personality.
yeah. Well, you're right. I won't lie. Home
So do we
training
now
too is
say
part of it.
70% of them
No,
has
I
really
disagree.
poor personality?
No, I disagree.
No,
I
They,
just feel
they are useful when they are useful.
Talking about this whole thing, where did it go wrong? Personally, I believe there's a disconnect somewhere. Talking about the Gen Zs now, the way they are acting, and then the way I shouldn't use the word acting. I think I should use their perception and their responses to some of these things. Talking about the questions we asked concerning their work ethics, because I mean it's clear there is no work ethics somewhere. It is missing. And then we now have, I don't want to use the word millennials, because there really is supposed to be, for things, I think there's supposed to be a continuum. So if you're joining an organization, you should be calm enough to learn the tenets of the work, how to do it, how this organization expects you to behave. Because if you look at it, the work culture from organizations, even when they are in the same line of business, is different. So how did it go wrong? Personally, I just believe there's just something missing somewhere. And to our wonderful audience, I think we would like to hear from you, your opinion, your stand on how we got it wrong, how there's so much disconnect between the Gen Zs and the millennials, and what will be done, to right this wrong, so that the alphas that are coming, because these guys are wonderful, so that those ones don't now even show our Gen Zs shaggy, if we can use that
ready
word,
for them.
because right now the Gen Zs are really not taking it easy. So, Olamide, how do you think we got it wrong?
Well, two things. I think that the way in which people they are being taught in school right now, the approach to education, right, is one of the factors, right? Um, School is supposed to prepare you for what is to come in the outside world, but school just teaches you basics, right? You don't have what it takes to join the force. So there is no work ethics. There should be a space for things like that to be taught, right? The second thing also is also has to do with family background, because those things actually mold and shape a child. Because if I don't understand why a parent will come and be calling the organ of an organization that's issue, why who is the person that is talking to my child anyhow, and why are they frustrating my, I don't understand what is this, what is, why is it your daddy that followed you there when you went for interview? So, you have things like that. So you see, those are actually the major factors for me. I think that because there's actually been some form of disengagement, in that space, education as well as in the homes, right?
Okay.
I think that's a major factor.
So personally, yeah, aside the family and education, I feel like it also depends on your kind of friend. Remember at the earlier part of the show, you people said, I think you said it specifically that I'm acting like a millennial, and she responded as like, because I work with them. So I feel like it's the people you have around you. So in a situation where you get 90% of the people you've met in your life are all millennials, you adapt. You don't have this baby thoughts. You don't, when you see your friends making it and they are working, and when you are among them, you feel so small and little. And just like we Gen Zs, we hate it when we are mentally down, when our self-esteem is just like our life revolves around our mental health.
Okay, so allow me then. We've been stressing these Gen Zs too much. So I think we should come on. Yeah, give me a handshake.
No, let me. You're one of my friends. But today,
Seriously? And you're just going to leave my hand hanging?
yes, that's part of our Gen Z bad attitudes.
Okay.
Yeah, share yourself.
Okay, so Tammy, we've spoken about so many things. We've spoken about work culture. We've spoken about diversion and inclusivity. We've also gotten your view on so many things that goes on in the organization and the Gen Z's perspective. So, considering everything we've spoken about, what would you say is your summary, or what would you like to share with our audience?
Okay, so personally, in conclusion, all I'm just trying to say is that Gen Zs are not as bad when it comes to work ethics. It just depends on your people, your circle of people, and it all boils down to the personality. They are amazing, and I mean amazing, productive Gen Z people there that are working, that are very productive. Alarm is just an eight. I don't look at that.
Okay.
As I was saying,
Okay.
Gen Z, it's not everybody. At the end of the day, it all boils down to your personality and your passion. So if
Okay.
there's the passion and your personality and the kind of people you work with, trust me, Gen Zs are amazing people. Aside the fact that we make things happen and we bring inclusion or any other thing,
Diversity into the way of
Aside
doing
that,
things.
most times we have like the younger brains. We might just not exploit it when they need to be, but if there's the push,
Okay. So I think one can just say essentially you would also like to get support from the millennials.
yes,
Okay.
they're just listen.
All right.
You are lazy. You are lazy.
So
lazy.
please, millennials, kindly add support to it. So whatever it is, I quite agree, because for the success of any organization, I think there should also be a bit of support, coaching, and encouragement. Thank you, Tammy.
You're welcome.
Olamide.
Okay, not to be a hater or anything,
You are.
but for me, I would say that the most important thing is for people, for the Gen Zs or anyone who is actually working, whether you're a millennial, whether you're a Gen Z, is to be able to understand, first of all, that work is not, it does not necessarily have to be all about money, right? You should understand that work is something that you should enjoy. Work is something that should be fulfilling, and based on what you the level of the things that you put into it, the effort that you put into it, that would also speak for you in the long run. So if you're diligent in what you do, of course, you the results and the reward is waiting for you. So There's no hassle. Just do what you need to do and don't stress my generation. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Drop spell.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Olamide. Thank you very much to our wonderful audience. I hope you've been able to enjoy this. Don't forget to comment, like, share your views on everything that we've discussed today. And if there's any other thing you'd like to share with us, even in addition to what we've spoken about, we are more than willing to hear from you. Thank you very much and enjoy the rest of your day.